Contention? Yes. Are they close to Super Bowl contention? Hell no. This is the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV AM, FM, and WDEVradio.com.
I don't know what the heck I just did. I have absolutely no idea what the heck I just did. But evidently I played commercials from the Red Sox game. They were supposed to play in like an hour, and they played today, and now we're starting the show 2.5 minutes late. My mistake, everybody. No, you're not the problem. Like, nothing's wrong with you or your timing or anything on your internal clock. It really is 5:33, and I really did screw up. Brady Farkas Show is here, though, finally. Mercifully on a Thursday on WDEV, AM and FM, and WDEVradio.com. You can get in on the Air Auto text line, 802-585-3026. You can also, again, 802-585-3026. You can watch us on Facebook Live and on YouTube Live. We're brought to you by Fecto Homes. Let's go. I wanted to start the show talking about this story out of my high school. I'm going to have to get to that at some point here in a little while. I got Buster Olney coming up at 5:45. He's going to be with us talking baseball. Red Sox Guardians coming up tonight at 6:10, 7:10 pregame show, or 7:10 first pitch, 6:10 pregame show here on your home for the Red Sox, DEV. The opening thoughts are brought to you by Sticks and Stuff and by Swanton Lumber, Vermont's most complete locally owned home center, with locations in Enosburg, Derby, Middlesex, St. Albans, and at Rouse's Point, New York. They're online at sticksandstuff.com. You're going to hear in the Red Sox game about the starting pitcher today, Matt Dermody. And I will be perfectly honest with you, I had never heard of Matt Dermody until last night at about 11 o'clock. I had never heard of him. He's a left-handed pitcher. He's 32 years old. He has made 30 appearances in the big leagues before with the Cubs and Blue Jays. The Red Sox signed him this offseason. He's been in AAA. He started a bunch of games down there for the Woo Sox. I had never heard of him. I have heard of him now. I have heard of him for all the wrong reasons, and you are going to hear about him when Red Sox baseball starts. Let me tell you exactly what is going on here. Matt Dermody will start tonight for the Red Sox. The spot start is needed because Chris Sale is injured. Cutter Crawford has moved to the rotation. The Red Sox pitching has been altered and shuffled because of Sale's injury. So that's what's necessitated a need for a spot start. So Matt Dermody is going to start today. Well, Matt Dermody is very, very religious. That is very, very evident. Okay. If you go, I went up and down Matt Dermody's Twitter page today. I went back like 2 years. Nearly every tweet he has is a biblical verse, is a scripture, or is a religious thing, right? It's religious related. So Matt Dermody is very, very religious. Well, 2 years ago, June of 2021, Matt Dermody had a tweet up that was a Bible verse, and I'm paraphrasing. Obviously, the Bible doesn't say these exact words, but basically that if you were gay, if you were homosexual, you are going to hell. You will not be welcomed into heaven. And that is what Matt Dermody said 2 years ago. Now, he deleted that tweet, and the Red Sox signed him this offseason. According to Chaim Bloom, they did not know about that tweet. It got brought up to them in spring training after they signed him. They talked with Matt Dermody. They evidently felt good enough with what they heard from Matt Dermody to keep him in their organization. Chaim Bloom said, had we known about it beforehand, we would not have signed him. But since we did sign him, we talked with him and we felt satisfied in what we heard. That is the story. You will hear that, I'm sure, on the pregame show. You will hear that on the broadcast when Matt Dermody goes out and makes his first pitches tonight. This is, predictably, a very sticky situation for a number of reasons, right? It's a very sticky situation for a number of reasons. First off, it is June. What is June? June is Pride Month. The Red Sox are having Pride Night at Fenway next Tuesday, and 5 days before that, the Red Sox have a pitcher on their roster who has homophobic tweets and has said if you are a homosexual, you are going to hell. That is very bad optically for the Boston Red Sox. The Red Sox are saying on Tuesday night of next week, we want to be inclusive. We want to welcome everyone to the ballpark. Baseball is for everyone. But at the same time, we are starting Matt Dermody, who feels this way and who feels these things and had this tweet and said these things. And you're supposed to feel welcome at the ballpark. Well, he is on our team. And by the way, if he sticks around, his spot to start would be Tuesday on Pride Night. And what a bad optical thing that would be. Chaim Bloom said also yesterday to the media that he can't regulate people's religious beliefs. So now it's kind of sticky for him. And let me just say a few things, because I've seen every answer you could have on Matt Dermody today, right? I've seen people say it's his religious beliefs, good for him. I've seen people say he's a bigot. I've seen people say that, oh, it was just a young guy's mistake. Matt Dermody's 32. He said these things at 30. That doesn't make you young. So I've seen the full gamut of responses here to Matt Dermody. Let me just say this. If you are the Boston Red Sox, your vetting process has to be better. It must be better. This is 2023. We can't hear, we didn't know about this. Right? Like that in 2023 is not an acceptable thing. We saw, look, the Boston Bruins, remember they tried to sneak in that guy who the prospect who bullied the special needs African-American kid when the two were growing up. The Bruins tried to sneak something under the radar this year too. They said they didn't know the full extent of it. It's 2023. You can't not know the full extent. Okay, ignorance is not an excuse for this stuff in 2023. You have a million scouts. You have character references. You have college coaches. You have high school coaches. You have this, that, or the other. You have former teammates. You have guys that know this guy. It's not that hard in 2023 to find out information on players. Now, if the Red Sox knew about this in advance and wanted to sign him anyways, then we would have a different discussion and we could judge the Red Sox for something different then. But here in 2023, we didn't know cannot be in your vernacular. It just can't. The Red Sox needed to know about this. 2, Chaim Bloom said to the media yesterday that once he approached Matt Dermody about this tweet, that he was satisfied with what Matt Dermody had to say. That basically Matt Dermody apologized. Well, what is Matt Dermody apologizing for? Because I think that matters a lot to a lot of people. Is Matt Dermody apologizing for feeling the way that he feels? Has he fundamentally changed his views on homosexuality? Is he apologizing for his previous views, being one way and now he's changed them to the other? Or is he apologizing just because he got caught? Because I think that will matter to a lot of people. If Matt Dermody said, hey, this is how I used to feel, but now I feel differently, people might take it one way. If Matt Dermody says, no, I still feel that way, I just shouldn't have tweeted it, that's going to make people feel a very different way as well. Okay? I don't know the answer to that question, but I like to know. Did Matt Dermody apologize to Chaim Bloom for feeling that way, or did he apologize simply for putting it out there on social media? And then the third question that I have is, why did the Red Sox hide this? Is it because they thought this is a guy like me that no one's ever heard of and it was always going to skate through unnoticed? Did they think that he'd never get to the bigs because he's a 32-year-old journeyman lefty and he's a depth organizational piece who's never actually going to pitch for the Red Sox, so therefore his past tweets don't matter? Maybe. But why didn't the Red Sox, get out in front of this? Why didn't the Red Sox share this with people? Because the optics in March would have been a lot different than the optics in Pride Month, in June, at the big league level, and now him potentially starting on Pride Night at your ballpark. The optics would have been bad in March. They're far worse now. The Red Sox elected to try to sneak this one past the goalie, and I don't quite get why. And my other question is, knowing that the optics would be bad, knowing that it's Pride Month, knowing that it's Pride Night coming up, why did the Red Sox not just bring up somebody else? I get it. You have 40-man roster concerns. Why did the Red Sox not bring up somebody else to sit in their bullpen and start Corey Kluber in this game? Why did they say, why are we not scheduling it so that Nick Pivetta gets this game? Okay, bring up a bullpen arm and put Pivetta or Kluber in line to start this game, and you never have to have this conversation today because he's still in your minor league system. This one, I have a lot of questions here, and you're going to hear those same questions, I'm sure, talked about on the broadcast. You just are. Okay, why did the Red Sox try to sneak this one through? Why did they not know in the first place? And what exactly is Matt Dermody apologizing for? His beliefs or that he got caught? Does he still feel this way? All these questions are going. We're going to get to the point after the game tonight, whether Matt Dermody throws 8 shutout innings or gets lit up and throws 1 inning and gives up 8 runs. The questions will not be about baseball. The questions will be about this. And the Red Sox excuse is what we didn't know? Come on, it's 2023. You've got to know. You've got to know. The guy who knows everything is Buster Olney, our ESPN MLB insider. Buster is with us now, and he's with us every single Thursday at this time. Buster, appreciate you being with us. How are you today?
For ALS and raising money and raising awareness and in honor, in your case, of Sarah Lenz, your ESPN colleague. I watched Sunday Night Baseball. She was great on that. I listened to Carl Ravitch on the Jared Carabas podcast yesterday. He was great. Baseball did a great thing last week for Sarah, but also for ALS awareness.
Well, I appreciate it. And, Sarah came on the podcast with me earlier this week. I said to her, she provides numbers for us, so I provided some numbers for her. Her friend Mandy Bell ran a half marathon in January in honor of Sarah with $105,000. Rob Freeman, the pitching ninja, started a movement with T-shirt sales on behalf of Sarah's name and raised about $60,000. Go on and on and on. The Carl's sale of Lang Stars, that's about $125,000, $150,000. She's someone who doesn't necessarily like the spotlight, doesn't want to be front center and everything, but she also understands that she has a platform because of her circumstance, and she wants to use it. And she's embracing it, and she's doing all these shows and having all these conversations and having a tangible impact on ALS awareness and ALS funding.
There's no easy way to transition out of that conversation to something fun, but I'm going to try to do it gracefully here. I only recently found out a couple of years ago, I don't know where I was for the last 25 years, but I only recently found out that there was a Red Sox-Yankees media game every year. And I was talking with Tom Caron and Nesson about it yesterday. He said he's never played in it. You covered the Yankees for a while. Have you ever played in the Red Sox-Yankees media game?
Yes. I played in one game. It was in Fenway Park, and it was, of course, for me, living out a boyhood dream, having, gone to so many Red Sox games there as a kid. I got a hit to left field, a clean single to left field. I'm not going to talk about my 2 strikeouts. And I also got a lifelong memento because I stupidly played in short. I don't know what I was thinking, but I went sliding into second base, and so I have a scar on my left hand, a big scar that'll be there forever, courtesy of Fenway Park. Because I was thinking it was like playing on the grass as a kid. No, it was like these little pebbles completely tore my leg up. So yes, I will always remember that, and I can't forget it based on this big scar on my leg.
Buster, I have done a lot of cool things as a fan or as a broadcaster, right? I've been to a World Series game, I've been to an ALCS game, I've been to Super Bowl Media Week, I've been to the NCAA tournament. The thing on my sports bucket list that I've never done is go to Omaha for the College World Series. The Super Regionals kick off tomorrow on all the ESPN family of networks. I'm curious though, have you ever been to Omaha? Is it something you've ever wanted to do?
Yeah, I've been there, and it's interesting because when I covered minor league baseball, the National Sound back in the day, I covered games in Omaha, Nebraska, but for college baseball, for the College World Series, I was there, I want to say, about 6, 7 years ago. We did some baseball tonight there, and that was really fun, and it was amazing, and all the, I went to Vanderbilt, and all the, players I speak with there from that great program about their experience, they just love it. They love the energy, and you could feel that, right? The fans being so excited and taking the long journey to root on their team out of this little ballpark in the middle of nowhere. It is a cool bucket list experience, no question.
Well, certainly, I've already made the decision. I'm going next year. That is the goal. So we're talking with Buster Olney of ESPN, our MLB insider. Buster, let's transition to the Red Sox. And we were talking about this earlier. Matt Dermody is going to start today against Cleveland, and his old tweets have resurfaced. This is a can of worms for the Red Sox that is kind of tough no matter how you look at it, right? Chaim Bloom has said you can't legislate people's religious beliefs. He's also said that, he's apologized, so it's okay. Here we are. It's Pride Month. The Red Sox have a Pride event coming up soon. This is a can of worms that I don't think the Red Sox really wanted to be a part of, but here they are. What is your take on this?
Yeah, it's mind-boggling how they handled this. And not that, and I'm not questioning whether or not they'd have Matt Dermody on the team, but think about, first off, in this day and age, 2023, after stuff that's happened in the past, guys like Josh Hader, it is right off the bat, you scratch your head like, how were they not aware of this?
Yep.
To begin with? But that, to me, is a C-minus. That's like a misdemeanor offense. The felony and the handling of this is, according to the Red Sox, they knew about this in spring training and they spoke with him about it. Why in the world did they fail PR 101 and not get out in front and tell him, look, we're going to tell reporters that this happened. We're going to explain, that this happened in the past, and you've taken that tweet down, and we're going to have you meet with reporters. We're going to rip the Band-Aid off. We're going to put full sunlight on this. So in spring training, when nothing else is going on, we can address this. So moving forward, if you get to the big league, you'll be past it. Instead, at a time when the team is at a crossroads, they're trying to decide whether they're going to buy or sell. Are they going to get back in, connect, and turn around and be relevant to American League playoff race? They have to deal with it in mid-season. The fact that they knew about it in spring training and didn't deal with it then, and making it public, is mind-boggling to me.
You talk about not knowing and calling it a misdemeanor offense. I'm curious, your years of covering baseball, how much vetting goes into guys that are organizational depth pieces, a spot starter, a guy you may think honestly may never get to your big league club? How much are those guys vetted?
With a lot of teams, it's extensive, right? I mean, look, the Red Sox are the foremost at the forefront of that. And I know it wasn't a part-time player like you're talking about, but as you know, before they signed Carl Crawford, they actually had a private eye follow him around. And given all the analysts that each organization has now, teams of 10, 15, 24 analysts, you telling me it wouldn't be worthwhile to do a background check and to ask simple questions? That seems pretty easy. It seems like a layup to avoid situations like this where they're all, kind of scrambling to put this player in the best possible situation going into the start, which is why it makes you scratch your head. Especially, again, this is not the first time we've seen this with an athlete having a social media history. That playbook is out there, and teams should be aware of that. And I know from talking with executives of other teams, they do look into that stuff before they have the player.
Buster Olney of ESPN with us here on the Brady Farkas Show. Dermody going to take the mound for the Red Sox tonight. 7:10 is the first pitch in Cleveland as the Sox look to win the series. Let's transition to another lefty, and that's Chris Sale, a guy who is injured yet again. You had worried about him with his shoulder specifically, throwing max effort. He says he doesn't think he's going to need surgery, but we don't know kind of what the prognosis is. I am not at worst case scenario stuff, but I'm really thinking we're not going to see Chris Sale before August at the earliest. What are your thoughts on Sale right now?
Yeah, first and foremost, and you know that, the way that treatment of elbow injuries, how far that's come, there's a lot more certainty. You can put a timetable. You can feel confident about how that's going to be handled. With shoulders, it's a whole different ballgame. A lot more uncertainty. And, you guess August. I would guess sometime around August 12th, but we don't know. And the other thing, too, is, Chris Sale, when he came back, he had success. He was, much better because he was throwing a lot harder. But as you and I talked about weeks ago, that was because he was going to that max effort delivery. And, I ran that, by the way, past both of the teams. I'm like, look, I'm an idiot sports writer. I don't really know what I'm looking at. Are you seeing the same thing I am? And that's the pitcher basically launching himself like he's a javelin thrower off the mound in order to generate velocity. That's exactly the take I got from other teams. So the question for the Red Sox is forward, not only is Chris Sale, when is he going to be back and when is he going to be healthy, but can he be successful without that? Or is he going to go back to doing that? And if he goes back to max effort delivery, how long can that last? Is that sustainable? And those are all questions that I can't answer.
Red Sox are getting ready to take on the Yankees this weekend. Yankees come in with issues. Aaron Judge is on the injured list with the toe problem. Out for, are we feeling like this is a minimum of 10 days, or like the 10-day minimum? He's got the PRP injection and then he's good, or could it linger?
Yeah, the other day, Aaron Boone, who of course worked with me on Sunday Night Baseball, he's a good friend. He's speaking with the reporters, and he talked about, this injury being a matter of weeks, and then he caught himself and changed that to days. And I'm paraphrasing there; it's not an exact quote, but it was a dead giveaway that this is more serious than what the Yankees are letting on. Now, it might be, that he heals up, that it's a couple weeks. But DJ LeMahieu, his teammates, spoke with reporters about his toe injury last year, and now it could be a real big deal. Last Saturday when he made that incredible catch against the Dodgers and, smashed through the wall in Dodger Stadium, there were a lot of sort of jokes about how Aaron Judge met the wall and Aaron Judge won. Well, in fact, the wall did, because I went out there the next day. There's a 6-inch rise of concrete that comes out of the ground there. He smashed his right foot against that. There was no give. I think not only is he going to be on the injured list, but you do wonder going forward as a hitter how much that's going to affect him in his performance and maintaining his balance in the box.
Buster, I'll get you out of here on this. This is another off-topic thing, but it's interesting. And it comes not from Vermont. It comes from my high school in the Albany area in New York. I'm not in the business of judging the decisions of 17-year-olds, but I found this interesting, that all 7 seniors on the softball team at my high school are foregoing the state championship tournament to go to the senior prom. What's your take on that?
Wow. Well, here's the thing. That would not be the decision where I would live. You know what? I didn't have a lot of dates in high school.
I can tell you I went to the high school's prom, but it wasn't that memorable. I'd rather have the state title.
I'm with you. That's a surprise to me. But again, I think that to each his own, right? Yeah. Everyone's going to have their own experience in high school. If that's the way they want to go, give it the cap to them. But that is not the way I want to go on. As I say, it's part of the decision was made easy for me just because I have no social life.
Absolutely. Me too, trust me. Buster Olney, ESPN MLB Insider. Buster, you're the best. Yankees, Red Sox, that could be Sunday Night Baseball. We got the notification that the game had been moved to 7:10. Is it now Sunday Night Baseball?
Yes. Each of the next 2 weeks, we've got Red Sox Yankees this weekend in the Bronx, and next week in Fenway Park.
Okay, there you go. So we'll see you on the national.
Absolutely. There goes Buster Olney. Buster echoing what I said in a lot of ways there about the Red Sox handling of the Matt Dermody thing. Now, Buster says, Buster said this was the thing that surprised me a little bit. Like I said, you got to be able to vet your guys. You can't not know in 2023. I wanted to know from Buster, like, hey, do people do this for relatively benign signings? And he said yes. So if other teams are going all out to learn everything they can about every player that enters the organization, the Red Sox need to as well. Buster says, get out in front of this thing early. That's what I said as well, too, because the optics here, pitching in June, in Pride Month, on Pride Night, potentially at your ballpark, are far worse than they would have been doing this in March. Alex Cora had to fall on the sword for the organization a little while ago. Cora just spoke in Cleveland about this. I won't play all of it for you. At least I don't think. It's about 90 seconds long. Here's Alex Cora.
Obviously, as an organization, we made this decision. As an organization, we've done a lot of stuff, to educate our players in the subject. I don't know how many organizations they do it with their employees and the players, as far as like educating them about being inclusive and obviously accepting, everybody in the clubhouse and your working environment. Obviously, not too many people agree with the tweet of Matt. I'm not here to, tell him what to say or what to do. But one thing for sure, when you put this uniform, obviously you're.
That was Alex Cora just now at Progressive Field in Cleveland. He answered the question well, but the fact that he had to answer the question, period, reflects poorly on the Boston Red Sox. Matt Dermody will start today. You will hear more about this, I'm sure. I'm positive throughout the broadcast. Brady Farkas show will step aside, come back after the CBS News update. And then, I will tell you, my high school, the softball team, the seniors are skipping out of the state championship to go to the senior prom. I'll take your texts on that. I'll give you my quick thoughts before we give you the Red Sox lineups. That's coming up next. The Brady Farkas Show brought to you by Fecto Homes, your total home solution in Montpelier, here on WDEV AM and FM and WDEVradio.com.
This is WDEV, Vermont's news station, owned and operated by the Radio Vermont Group. From the station, 96.1
WDEV, Brady speaking. I'm well. How are you? I got a second.
Streaming at WDEVradio.com. 91 years of serving Vermont. The friendly pioneer, WDEV. This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
Okay, thanks for the call.
President Biden says more firefighters and other resources will be sent to Canada to help the country fight hundreds of wildfires. CBS News correspondent Tom Foti reports.
President Biden says U.S. firefighting help will be increased. We already have 600 American firefighters.
Best on the team, Malik for sure. Fox, of course. I have to say Davion. He's just my rookie. I just mess around with him all day.
Best friend on the team so far, I'll go with Davion.
Chimezi Mete.
Best friend on the team, probably the tie between Harrison and Davion.
Best friend, that's hard to say. I don't want to single nobody out because that's, that ain't fair to my other teammates. I don't know. I just can't say.
Best friend on the team, be Domas for real. Like, got a lot of love for Domas. I wouldn't say I really have like a best friend. I'm kind of just like close with everyone, like in that same like distance. Honestly, and I was gonna say like either Keegan or Neiman because like we're kind of rookies. So
best friend on the team, I would probably say let's go with Fox and Malik because we all went to Kentucky. So
Probably Kev. Played with him in Atlanta, plus Maryland connection. He was hanging out a lot in Atlanta.
Tried to extort some $250,000 from her, in exchange for which he promised to tell her information about what happened to Natalie and where Natalie's body could be found.
Police say a man stabbed 4 young children and 2 adults in a park in France. Prosecutor Lynn Bonnier.
We have launched a criminal investigation into this massacre. The person in question is arrested and in the police station, and there doesn't seem to be any kind of terrorist motivation.
Our views on tipping are changing. 2/3 of Americans now have a dim view of tipping, with most of us tipping less because of inflation and economic concerns. That's according to a survey from Bankrate, which found hairstylists and barbers suffering the biggest decline in tipping, down about 13% over the past year. Tips to restaurant and food delivery workers are down nearly 10%.
On Wall Street, the closing bell brought gains and a bull market. Now that stocks have risen 20% since their lows in October. This is CBS News.
Need hires who dazzle without the hassle? You need Indeed. Their powerful platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
The WDEV studio is sponsored by Sticks and Stuff and Smart Lumber, Vermont's largest independent home center, powered by Marvin Doors and Windows. Go to sticksandstuff.com for store locations and hours. New England Municipal Resource Center, NEMRIC, proudly supporting local government, local businesses, and WDEV. Do you love a bargain? Then the WDEV Trading Post online marketplace is for you. Get great deals on goods and services from local businesses, furniture, gift certificates, recreation discounts. You'll never know what you'll find. All deals are at a reduced price. Save money, and maybe you'll discover something new. The offers and prices are constantly changing, so check back regularly at TradingPostMarketplace.com.
Are you looking to get rid of your used mobile home? Here at Fecto Homes, we don't just sell new mobile homes, we also buy used. If you have a used mobile home that you are looking to sell, we can either accept it as trade and apply the value to a new home with us, or purchase it outright. We offer fair prices and quick removal of your mobile home. So reach out to us for a quote today. Fecto Homes, 350 River Street, Montpelier, or visit us at fectohomes.com for more information.
It's a special Friday night opener at the nation's site of excitement on the road with round one of the Myers Flying Tigers Triple Crown Series. Plus late models, street stocks, road warriors, and the ground-pounding New England Super Modified. Adult admission $20. Kids age 6 to 12, $5. The family pair, 2 adults, 2 kids, just $40. Kids 5 and under free. Friday night at the nation's site of excitement on the road. Quarry Hill, Barry, post hour 7 o'clock.
Your chance to be part of the show is on the text line at 802-585-3026.
What's back to the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV AM, FM, and WDEVradio.com.
Welcome back in, Brady Farkas Show right here on WDEV AM and FM and WDEVradio.com. I've been talking about this all day, so I'll give you the quick skinny on this story. This is from my high school in New York. This is not out of the state of Vermont, so that's why I feel like I can talk about it freely here. So here's the situation. 7 senior girls on my high school softball team are skipping out on playing in the state championship weekend in order to go to the senior prom. Here's the logistics, because I feel like they're important. The state championship weekend is just that. It is the weekend. It is a Final Four. The semifinal games are played on Friday. The final is played on Saturday. The final is played in Long Island, which is, 4.5 hours away from where my high school is. The game would be at noon. The prom would be at 6. So, okay, you'd have to win on Friday to even get to Saturday. And then Saturday you play. You could get to the prom. You'd get there late, but you could still get to the prom before it ends. The players were told all of this, and they said, no, we want to go to the prom. And they said, can we just play Friday and then just bag on the state title game? And the school told them, no, if you're going to play, you're going to play the whole time. And if you're not, then you're not going to play at all. They were told, hey, we can get you to the prom as quick as we can after the game. They said, no, we want to be there for the whole thing. I could never make that decision. Again, I am not in the business of judging 17-year-olds, but I could never make that position. I can tell you this. I went to prom. Prom is important, right? It's an important part of high school. You put money into it. You've either bought a dress or you've bought a tux or whatever. I paid for a limo for my date and I, whatever. Prom is important. Prom is something you've invested in. It's something you want to do. I totally get it. Prom was fun for one night. A high school state championship, that's fun forever. And I know at some point, you outlive the glory days of high school and you can't tell the high school state championship stories forever. But when you're sitting around with your high school friends, you're going to think about the state championship a whole hell of a lot more than you're going to think about the prom. And that is a fact. Okay? Because You're going to go to the prom with somebody that the odds are that 99.5% of you are not going to marry. And therefore, the prom will become a memory that doesn't mean that much to you because that person won't even be in your life, probably. The people who you won a state championship game, you will be bound forever. Okay, you will be put together forever. And those memories will be together forever. The prom will be memories for a year, 2 years, tops. And then you'll be on to somebody new in your life in a lot of cases. Not all, but a lot of them. The high school state championship will never go away. Those memories will never go away. Look, the prom wasn't even that memorable for me. My prom wasn't even that fun. I would much rather have been at a high school state championship game. Okay? My best friends from high school were all people I played sports with. I can't even tell you. I haven't spoken to my prom date in over a decade. I couldn't tell you who we sat in the limo with. I talked to my high school buddies all the time from the team. Like, that would be my choice easily. And frankly, for these 7 players, I don't even know how you look at your teammates in the face. Like, you go through and you play with these people for 15 years. You work to get to this point. Your parents invest. You go to travel tournaments and spend on lessons and buy equipment. And then at the end, you pull the plug. With 2 games left in your career, you pull the plug. Also, you can go to a dance and a party that will exist for 1 day of your life and you won't ever think about again after 2 years tops. Again, they're 17. They can make whatever decision they want. And ultimately, I'm not really going to judge them. But when I read that story coming out of my hometown, I was like, whoa, I could never have made that choice. Ross wants to know, does a team fill the 4th spot? No, my high school is not forfeiting. They are just going in underhanded or shorthanded. They brought up JV players. They have bench players. It's a huge school. They could fill out the roster. They are playing as a team. They're just not playing with those 7 players, some of which I'm sure are starters and some of which are sure some of their best. Tex says, great point. They're not looking at the big picture, just the one-night picture. I agree. Red Sox baseball is next. Sox and Guardians here on DEV. We'll see you tomorrow.